What's up? What's up? What's up, beautiful people? It's Pretty Girl Loves Trap Content, and we are here another Wednesday to discuss Power Book 1. Okay, the OG Power, if you will. Season 6, episode 12, y'all. I cannot believe we are almost at the end. Okay, well, of course, OG Power, whatever. Okay, and this episode is focusing on Paz. Now I know you probably like, you know what? Not today, but I'm like, yes, today we're gonna get into Paz and her perspective on James's last day. Okay, because the producers and the writers, everyone saw fit to ensure that Paz had her episode. And maybe it was like an ode to Angie, since Angie is technically, you know, one of the OGs of Power. So maybe to satisfy that portion of the storyline, they decided to, hey, let's go ahead and put my Paz, Poppy, and Junior in the mix. So we're going to go through it, y'all. Okay, so bear with me, okay? Before we get into the things, if y'all don't mind, just doing me a quick little favor and like the video, okay? It's very important. You know, we want to see the engagement here. Tell YouTube that you like your girl, okay? So like, if you don't mind sharing, if you don't mind subscribing, if you're not a subscriber already, I would appreciate all the things, okay? But I appreciate you guys showing up. Let's have fun in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And again, not sure what's going on with my lighting on my laptop. I'm not even using any of the light because it's already giving LaToya Jackson. So I don't know what's going on. Like, I like my melanin. Why is it not giving me my melanin on the webcam? I don't know. So I apologize in advance. Okay. I apologize. I promise I'm not bleaching my skin. Okay. Just know I'm not bleaching my skin. But y'all, let's get into it because we wake up from a nightmare. Okay, Paz is over there having a whole nightmare. She's in an abandoned hospital hallway, okay, and she's asking for help, and it looks very much scary, okay. And this is pretty much the same night that her sister passed away, okay, and she can't find nobody to help her. But then she bumps into bloody Jamie, okay, and of course Jamie was pretty much saying like, hey, you didn't make it in time, you were late, yada yada yada. So pretty much what the story is telling us at this point, that Paz is taking accountability for Angie's demise, okay, and they're doing that through the lens of Jamie. And I'm going to reference Jamie as best as I can because that's what Paz and Angie call James, aka Ghost. All right. So she wakes up from this nightmare, okay? And Poppy is he's in the house, y'all. Poppy is stressing Junior and Paz the F out, okay? Because we don't have TT's money anymore, okay? So they had to discharge Poppy from the nursing home, and now they all together under one roof, okay? So now they are caregivers to Poppy, and Poppy is being very much difficult, okay? Like, he's a handful. He is a handful, okay? Just let me just shout out all the people that is in healthcare, that is, you know, care attendants, because that is not an easy job, okay? Not at all. So Poppy, he's over there being difficult. So Paz, she turns on the TV and they turn on to the news. And guess what they see? Jamie St. Patrick, okay? And even Poppy was like, that's Jamie St. Patrick. That irks me. Just, it's James, y'all. James. It's pissing me off. Jamie St. Patrick, I don't know. It's cringy to me. I don't know why, but I'm going to rock with it as long as I can. So, of course, he recognizes Jamie, and he's pretty much saying like, hey, I told you to stay away from him, Angie. He's no good. So Poppy is, and this is, it's not funny, but he's thinking that Paz is Angie. I'm not sure if he has dementia or Alzheimer's. I'm pretty sure they probably mentioned it, so I'm sorry. I can't determine what exactly is wrong with Poppy. But yeah, he thinks Paz is Angie. And you would think it would be the other way around because, yes, Angie financially was there, but Paz was there putting in the work physically. Like I always say, when a parent has multiple children, innately, the children are assigned or pretty much innately have their own positioning and tasks when it comes to the elderly parents. There's typically one that's going to be there physically and one that's going to be there financially. And then probably one that ain't doing nothing, if there's at least a third one, okay? So he's mistaking Paz, which is weird because Angie is the youngest. But anywho, so she's pretty much, and you can tell it's bothering her, but she's kind of trying to ignore it and excusing, the mistakes that Poppy is making with the names, right? But let me tell y'all about Junior. Junior got on my good goddamn nerves this episode, okay? All he was worried about was going to school and getting TT's money, okay? Every time we saw Junior on the screen, he asking about them checks, them dollar bills, y'all. And I'm like, Junior, calm down. Do you see the stress that your mother is under? Like, I get it. You want to get your education, but I'm like, Junior, is there a chick back at school that you trying to holler at or get back to? Because you are pressing too hard. Like, your mother is over here trying to do pressing curls at the salon. She's over there trying to finalize things with your auntie. She's over there taking care of your grandfather. Like, sir, what are we doing here, Junior? And he don't even want to help out. He's being very impatient. Don't get me wrong. Poppy is a handful, but Junior is getting on my nerves. Okay, very much so. But he's a kid, so I'm trying to give him a little slack, just a little bit. But nonetheless, he getting on my nerves. Okay, so y'all, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, it's showing that my video is private, and I apologize. So let me make it public. Maybe I didn't change something. Sometimes StreamYard be tripping. I just noticed like I don't see no comments, which is kind of out of the norm. But now my comments are pulling up. Sorry. My bad, guys. I had to change one of the settings. Now I can see y'all. Hey. I was like, hold up. Somebody would have been up in here saying hi already. What is up? What is up? Okay, yes. Thank you, DeMarcus. Hey to homie, Stephen Harris, Mr. Jones. How y'all doing? How y'all doing this lovely Wednesday? Thank y'all for coming through. DeMarcus, you said Paz was not a bad person at all. Maybe if Angela listened to Paz, Angela would still be alive. I can agree with that on some level, okay? But when it came to Jamie, I don't know. I've been dumb. I've been dumb for a man before. I get it. But this is very, yeah, y'all. This is a lot, okay? The Marcus, you said Junior is a Tariq about that family. That is hilarious. That is actually very much hilarious. Support gaming. What's up? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Not Junior being the Tariq. I don't know why it still kind of upsets me that we didn't utilize Junior. I feel like the way we could have in book 2, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to rant today on that, right? So Paz, she's aggravated with Junior, as I am, right? So she goes to Tasha's house, and Tasha was like, girl, what the hell are you doing here? She's like, did you hear he going into politics? She was like, girl, yeah, I heard it already. Okay, well, you got to help me stop him, because this cannot go down, girl. And Tasha was like, what you want me to do? Okay, but Paz is like, he ruined our lives. Like, something has to be done. Tasha was like, girl, no. I get it, but what we gonna do? But it's so funny that Paz she feels like she's more than the victim than Tasha, right? I mean, granted, her sister did pass, but still, like, Tasha's more in the thick of things, okay? And Paz was like, do you remember how this started? Tasha was like, hell yeah, I do remember. Your sister was over there banging my husband. Paz was like, well, she didn't know he was married, when they first got together. She had to clarify that. Because I was like, girl, if you didn't get specific, we gonna have to tussle. Paz. Like, come on, don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. And that does not excuse the continuation of the affair. Okay. And this is the thing, this whole episode, not until maybe minute 50 in this episode that Paz granted Angie some accountability, because she was doing too much. Okay. So Tasha insists, like, no, there's no beating James. He always wins. And I'm cheesy. So I love the fact that they always included the writers always included the title of the episode in the dialogue. Like, that's so cool because the episode is He Always Wins, right? So Pa, she goes home and gets the blicky, okay, because she's tired, right? So she goes and stakes out James at the James Hotel because that's where he's staying at. So she sees James, he walking up, right? So she gets out, get the blicky, you know what I'm saying, caught back. Now, granted, it's broad daylight. It's given lunchtime. It's given 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? Paz is pretty much being about that action. But the good Lord had to intervene because the next thing we heard was an ambulance. So, you know, she was like, oh, I got to back up. I got to back up. Like, maybe it's the Lord telling me something, right? So she goes back into the car. And then James, he kind of looks over his shoulder a little bit. And you could tell, like, I don't know if it's like Thug Spidey senses kicked in or if he truly recognized Paz's car. But you could tell James is like, something feel a little off. Something feel a little off in the air, okay? But he proceeded to go into his hotel room. But that was hilarious. Like, Paz, like, girl, sit your ass down, okay? Because you're doing too much. That is true support gaming. DeMarcus said it was hilarious. Just people that James and Patrick and Angie was Junior's parents and that Tariq was Junior. That theory was wild, okay? Was wild, but in Powerland, they probably could have made it work. So, y'all, Paz leaves from Jamie's hotel and she goes to the feds, right? And so she was like, what's going on with my sister? Like, what's the deal? So Warner, you know, Jacob Warner pretty much advised her that Sachs botched the whole investigation and they're pretty much kind of at a standstill, low key, right? So Paz leaves the feds and goes to Sachs' apartment. I said, see, this is so unrealistic, but we got to rock with it because it's power. Because Dre done been up in Sachs' house. Tommy and Ghost been there. Pretty much Sachs, what I would have done, once Tommy and Ghost left my apartment, I'm looking at the brochures, okay? This is what, 2014? So yeah, I don't know. We probably had good YouTube options to find a new apartment. Like, come on, bro. Like, time to move. Too many people know where you rest your head at, sir. So Pops is pretty much like telling Sachs, like, yo, you told me you was going to handle this, that James is going to go down. Like, you promised me. And Sachs is like, well, my bad, girl, because the evidence, it does not support that James murdered your sister. Like, I'm sorry. It's the evidence, the autopsy, everything proves that James was not the doer. So she was like, well, if he didn't do it, who did? Inquiring minds want to know, right? So Sachs was like, you really don't know. Like, how well did you know your sister? Because she was into some things. So he proceeds to tell Paz, like, what Angie had going on. Like, she was on the brinks of getting arrested for a conspiracy with James and them. So she looking like, what the hell? My sister. She was that demonetized that she was over here doing all this with James. Sachs was looking like, but the thing is, right? Paz, she went on this whole rant about pushing Angie to go to choke. You know, was not on Angie's mind because she didn't want to leave poor Jamie behind in Queens, okay? So she pretty much strong-armed Angie and made her sign up for choke. And, of course, we know Angie ends up going to choke. So you know what, Paz? I'm actually blaming you for this whole power universe. Because if you would have let fate and destiny take control, Angie would have never went to choke. She probably would have never become, you know, a fed, okay? She would have stayed in Queens in the projects or whatever they were staying at, stayed with drunk-ass, drug-dealing Jamie, okay? And they would have went ahead and had little babies, okay? Little nice, cute, little mixed babies and been selling the drugs. And then when James decided to change his life, Angie would have been supportive. Or maybe not. Maybe she would have been shot up anyway. I don't know. But the fact is, we don't know because you intervene in their love story, Paz. So I blame you for going through all this. We would not be dealing with Tariq. We would not be dealing with Raina. God rest her soul. We not be dealing with Tasha. We even had to worry. Well, I don't know. Dre probably could have still been in the story. But point is, pause. You was doing too much, and now we dealing with all this because of you. Yes, I'm blaming you. Oh gosh, Stephen Harris, what's up? You said Paz was always stuck between a rock and a hard place, unlike other in the series. She never had the power to change the situation or make a real impact. Yeah. I mean, she was just a sister. Like you, when somebody in love, child, it's hard. That's like trying to coach somebody through addiction or depression. Like those are the and I know I kind of took it far, but that's what I have to equivalent that to, because it's something that you could be as supportive you want to be and try to be there for somebody, but they have to have that will and that power to want to change within. Now, Angie, initially, she didn't want to be about the hood rat life, but that drug called love took your girl by storm. Okay, so sorry, Paz, you tried, girl. You tried. Okay. Stephen Harris said, not Angela and Junior dug their graves. Paz told them to avoid the St. Patrick's. Now Tommy and Tariq smoked the days. Yeah, that's a mess. Support Gaming, you said the parents forced Andrew to go to choke, not Paz. Paz. This is Paz's point of view. So I'm basing it off of the dialogue that Paz and did we confirm? Like, did we hear Angie state that her parents made her go? I possibly can. Part of me feels like she did say that, but we don't know. Paz could have been pulling the strings, or inadvertently, Paz was the one that kind of made her parents want to like force Angie, because we know Paz was seemingly like a teenage mom or what have you. She always seemingly had it hard per the dialogue that her and Poppy had today. So she you know how it is with parents. They see what happens with one child and they was like, when that next child come up in the ranks, we gonna do things right. Okay, we gonna take a little more care and consideration of what our children is going to do or what our child is going to do. So, but I do feel like Paz had some influence on Angie one way or another. Yes, DeMarcus, she was actually right, for telling Angie to go to choke. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. SJ Smith, you said, I wonder how Paz would have felt if Jamie decided to go to choke instead of staying in Queens. That's a good question, because that would probably prove to Paz like, oh, maybe he's not that bad. Maybe, he just needed to get out of his environment. But sometimes people make, a first impression that's always going to be someone's, main impression. So he could have always been trash to Paz, regardless of what he did, So it's hard because, they always, mention how Jamie used to be, drunk as a skunk on a corner like Franklin. I'm sorry. I don't know if Rob Franklin came to my mind. Yeah, I am still traumatized. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up Franklin. I'm sorry. It's pissing me off. DeMarcus, you said people thought that Tommy and Paz smashed too. How though? I never saw that. I don't know. Interesting. Support Gaming said, you see the one when Angela and Ghost was talking about why she left. Angela said her parents wanted her to leave. Pops never liked Jamie. Yeah, that is facts. I'm sure it was like a family, like a general consensus in the Valdez family. Like, Angie gotta go. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is positive perspective. So I feel like she's taking herself. We're pretty much seeing her take the blame or the accountability of things that she may not have, the blame or the accountability to necessarily take in this situation, because it's her perspective. Not saying it's skewed, but you can't help someone's point of view, right? So it is what it is with that. SJ Smith, you said in the first episode, and she said she didn't invite her parents when they made her go to choke. Paz, she only left it alone because by the time she got the information, Tommy was already gone when she went to sleep. Yeah, we'll go into that at the end of the episode. Yeah, I mean, I know the whole family wanted her to go to Choate, but at the end of the day, Paz is saying that she forced her. So as y'all recall, if y'all don't remember, if y'all didn't watch this episode, in the very beginning scene when she was having a nightmare in the hospital, Paz, pretty much took full blame for Angie's murder. So that's what I'm saying. Things are going to be skewed per their perspective. So I'm speaking from their perspective based on a dialogue, but I'm also inputting what I possibly think as well. But I wholeheartedly feel that Paz and what she went through as, a young teen and young adult, as well as the parents, they all had influences when it came to Angie leaving. Stevie said, are we really supposed to be seeking rare? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Support Gaming said the writers likely forgot or just bad writing. I don't know if the writers forgot. I'm just, like I said, I feel like it's a thing where this is Paz's point of view, right? Because she's taking full or most of the accountability on the things that she feels like went wrong with her sister, because she feels the guilt and the blame even though she shouldn't, because she tried all she could. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Hello, Cortland. What's up? You said Pa should have known immediately that Ghost didn't kill Angie. He showed up to the hospital, supported her and everything. That's the thing. That I thought the same thing. Like, okay, but I guess when it comes to grief and anger and frustration, you don't really have the right mindset, but still common sense need to be there too in the equation. Okay. Like, it don't make sense. Why would he stick around? Why would he stick around? But I also feel like Paz believes that even though Jamie may not have pulled the trigger, that Angie's connection to Jamie was Angie's downfall. So either way, I feel like she just blamed Jamie regardless, because she feels like Angie was on the right track before Jamie. Like, she was over there with Greg. Okay, y'all remember Greg? She was over there with Greg making nice mayonnaise love, okay? And then Jamie had to come in the picture. So, oh Lord. So Paz goes back to her house, and she pretty much catches Junior up on what went on in terms of, her meetings with the 5011 people that she met up with. Okay. Now, let me tell you, these characters were ripping and running this day. They was ripping and running. Everybody was burning the gas and using the Metro cars. They was doing all the things. Like, they were busy. Okay. Normally we see, Ghost over there ripping and running, having 50-hour days. Okay. Even though it's 24 of them. Paz is over there moving and grooving. Okay. So she tells Junior and explains like, hey, Angie was into some things and she's possibly to blame, and she's pretty much guilty and had some dealings with James's organization, right? So Junior was like, oh, so it's her fault we in this, that I'm over here struggling to go to school next semester. And Pop's like, no, I'm gonna need you to change your point of view, change your tone, because she is the reason why we even live in this nice apartment. Okay, like stop playing. Okay, don't be putting dirt on your TT. Okay, because she's been helping us a lot. But Junior is a little bratty little kid. Okay, he don't give a good goddamn. He's gonna blame somebody, right? So Junior is giving Angie all of the accountability, while Paz is still blaming Jamie for everything. Still not holding her sister accountable at all, right? And it's kind of annoying me at this point. So Paz goes to Warner, right? She goes back to the feds, and she was like, you know what? I have some evidence that can connect Angie to Jamie. And do you want to know what it is? He was like, okay, well, we go on there, girl. If we gonna go there, you gotta know. If we find dirt on Angie, her pension, her benefits, all that is out of here. Like, don't even look at getting a dime from the government, because we ain't got it. Okay. It's going to pretty much, expose her as being dirty. So are you sure you want to do this? Pops is like, yeah, because I want justice. He was like, no, you want revenge. let's keep it a buck, Paz. You want revenge, okay? I was like, yeah, Warner, check her. Explain to her what it really is about. So, child, they went ahead to the cemetery and they dug Angie's little crusty little body up, child. I was like, oh, is this necessary? So she, tells the feds where she hid the burner phone, and they find the burner phone, and they really don't get too much information. They was able to recover like some outgoing messages, but they were like one-word messages, talking about meeting up, but they could not get any true like information out of this burner phone, right? So of course Warner was like, well, girl, it looks like Angie was into some shady things. So yeah, pension, you may need to go find a GoFundMe or something, girl, because you done messed up. And I'm like, damn, like your rage and just the fact that you over here doing too much, you done messed up your bag. You messed up the bag, girl. Like, what are we doing? I'm so aggravated. Like, what are we doing? Steven, you said she knew Ghost was no good for Angie, and it was ultimately in their relationship that got her killed. That's facts. No lies being told there. Support game, you said plot twist, Paz. Sorry, Paz. Why do I want to call her Paz? Paz is the one who wanted Ghost at first, and he chose Angie. She's been a hater ever since. Why I'm not like completely mad at that? Yeah, she's very much delusional. Okay, she needs to be in somebody's sight ward. I ain't gonna hold you. Okay, support game, and I'm not taking light of mental health, but Paz she's going through things. Okay, I know I'm going through grief, so I feel you could be a little cray. Okay, so support gaming. You said I can't believe people really thought Angie faked her death because I don't even remember that theory. Was the people really saying that? That's crazy. Why was she? Never mind. So Paz is really not trying to let this James thing go. So she said, you know what, Warner, wire me the F up, okay? I can get him, Ghost, James, Jamie. I could get him to confess. I'm like, girl, how? And this is exactly where the delusional come from, support game, because I'm like, how do you think this most careful, I can't think of the word I'm trying to use, but James is very much meticulous and very careful. And you think he is going to allow you to get him wrapped up into girl, what? But I ain't gonna hold you. She was kind of close, right? So she goes to Truth. Mind you, I still be aggravated because I'm like, why is there no security? Why is she able to just run up in Truth without nobody knowing she's there? Because James kind of came up behind her. He was like, what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? So she was like, well, I know you did murder my sister. Okay, I got the results back and I get it. You wasn't the one. You wasn't the one who did it, right? But just let me know, like, why was she helping you? So James is pretty much telling her, like, hey, Angie, she helped me and my family multiple times, okay? I cannot repay her enough. Like, I would trade my life for her. Okay, so this bit of dialogue is very important because it shows Angie was over there working with James and them, okay, on some level. So now Warner specifically told Paz, do not ask James about Angie because he is not going to admit to that. So get any information regarding Mike Sandoval, Tony Teresi, even ask him why Angie and Tasha was communicating. Like, those were things that we need to be focused on, okay? Because we're trying to get James on the other things, not on Angie, all right? Because we already know Ghost has an alibi. The evidence doesn't support anything. Like, it wouldn't make sense to pursue the Angie situation, so we can't waste this opportunity. But what does Paz do? Waste the opportunity because she proceeded to ask, if you didn't murder my sister, who did? And Warner was like, she done effed up. She done effed up. I'm like, girl, we not supposed to be talking about that. But that's what I'm saying. She's not focused. She's not focused. She done effed up. Paz, you was right there. And I'm actually very much surprised that Ghost even said that much. And I was just like, you over here running your mouth, you yapping, James. Like, why are you even saying this? Like, just, I know they kind of, they got the same last name, but they are not the same. This is not Angie. Don't be over here pillow talking at the bar. Like, what are we doing? Why are we saying all these things? Like, shut it up. Like, shut your mouth. Like, why are you talking this much? Damn, it's pissing me off. Stephen Harris, he said Paz tried her best, and it's more Angela's fault. Junior's dead. He didn't mention it would be alive. Junior is a waste. Support game, he said Gold's been trying to tell Dirty Paz that he didn't love her and she ain't cared about. That's what I'm saying, but she just so fixated on just getting him. And it's a waste of energy, right? So he explains he cannot tell Paz, who murked her sister, right? He don't know. So she storms out like, I will not return. Okay. And I'm like, girl, shut the hell up. So she goes back to Warner, right? And Warner was like, well, based on James's responses to your questions, it seems as though she was definitely working with them. So she is definitely not getting any approval for no pension. Thanks for playing. Oh my God, Paz, you doing too much. So she looks at her phone because Warner had her phone because she was over here trying to, get Jamie on the wire. So she sees there's like 11 missed calls from Junior. So next thing we see her ripping and running to the hospital. Okay. And Poppy done had a whole anxiety attack. And she was like, well, what happened? So Junior confessed that he told Poppy that Angela done kicked the bucket. And he's been hitting at it all episode. He was like, why don't you just tell him? Why don't you tell him? And Poppy, she's over there just trying to protect Poppy, and she didn't know how to rip the Band-Aid off. Like, you just got to tell him, girl. Like, I understand you're trying to protect people, and I feel like that's kind of like that big sister trauma, that big sister energy, that older sister energy, because I understand it. You try to protect everyone because this is what you're known to do, okay, as the oldest, right? But it was to her detriment, right? So Poppy, he over there laid up in the hospital, and Junior was like, I ain't no nurse. Like, I shouldn't be taking care of him anyway. I'm like, Pop, Junior, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I wanted to get the belt. Because he was being too bratty for me. Like, you're a good 18, 19, Junior. Get your big draws on. Stop playing. You can watch Poppy for a couple hours while Paz take care of the business. Put on The Price is Right or whatever you need to put on. Bonanza, Honeymooners, whatever Poppy likes, put it on. Telenovela, I don't know. And just babysit. Don't get me wrong. I understand. Dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever you got going on, that is a lot. But shut it up, Junior, because you're getting on my nerves. Get on my goddamn nerves. So Paz explains that, no, sir, you are not going back to school because we done effed it up. We have no other option. Junior was like, we got an option. We got an option. It's called violence. Okay. Like, Junior, shut up. He was like, I know people. I said, Junior, who do you know? Get out of here. You're a square. Get out of here, Junior. Like, who do you know? Like, stop playing. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I literally laughed out loud when Junior said he knew people. I'm like, shut up. Everybody know people. But do you know the right people? I don't think so. Okay. So Paz is like, no, we're just going to let the police do their job because apparently they're looking at James for some other cases. Now, Warner did explain to Paz that James is under investigation for offing of a lawyer. He's talking about Terry Silver, but he didn't mention Terry Silver's name, right? So she has faith that Jamie is still going to get caught up, not just for Angie, right? So she was like, all right, Junior, I'm going to go to the salon, get my check so I can pay for this hospital room. And then we're going to be out. I was like, girl, wait till that come in the mail. Like, you get the bill in the mail. You can hold on to your coin just a little bit. Like, what are we doing here? what we doing here? Like, I don't know. Maybe their insurance wasn't right. But I'm like, girl, you paying too early. Unless they pressing her or something. But I'm like, Poppy good. He can come back home. You already know the hospitals be a scam. Aspirin be $50. Why y'all charge me $50 for aspirin? It's a whole scheme, y'all. Be aware. Be aware, okay? The hospitals are a scheme, okay? Portland, you said, imagine if Tommy killed a ghost instead. Season 5 finale. Ooh, I don't want to imagine it. But I feel like I don't know. Maybe what he would tongue twister. Maybe we would have seen Angie using that whole season to get justice for Jamie. We would have seen maybe an Angie and Tommy duel. I don't know if I would have liked that. Maybe we would have seen her and Tasha link up against Tommy. I don't know, but it didn't happen, so I ain't gonna stress too much about it. But that's a good thought. Steven, you said Pa's always making that stupid mad ass face. She was sticking her nose where it belonged and cost her. Yes, the perfect example is stay in your lane. Yes, we be seeing the veins, okay? The neck veins, the forehead veins, like it's a lot. It's a lot. Did y'all know that the actress she played in Dead Presidents? When I reviewed Dead Presidents like a couple of years ago, and I was like, I know this face. She was the girlfriend or the wife of the Spanish guy. I can't think of his name, but it was the one Lorenz's friend who was in explosives and that kind of messed up his hand. But they was kind of at the dance together or whatever. I was like, oh, I know that. Yeah, don't you hate that when you see an actress who's like, I know that face. I know that face. Because of course, when The Presidents originally came out, Power wasn't out, so didn't know. But I was like, hey, I know this face. Then I figured it out. But shout out to the actress. Support Gamer said Paz is the original Kane of the original Power, always hating ghosts for no reason. I mean, she had reasons. She was trying to protect her sister. And the fact that he was married didn't make it no better. Hey, Derry Boo, thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Jay, what's up? He said, Paz pissed me off every time I see her on screen. That is facts. I share the same sentiments as you. You are not alone. I am here with you. Oh, gosh. But, y'all, Angie went, pick up her, I said, Angie, Lord. Paz, she went to the salon, picked up her check. Not even 2 steps out the door. Tight teeth Blanca Rodriguez met her. And she was like, just want to let you know, the other case that we were trying to get James for, yeah, it's done. It's over. It's not going to happen. It's not a thing. And she was like, are you serious? She was like, yeah, I'm sorry. The judge denied it. And he's not going for it. He don't want to pursue James in this manner. So it is what it is, okay? So, of course, Angie is up to the set. So she goes back to Tasha's, right? And apparently Tasha called Paz there. But Tasha, when she was asked why did she call Paz, she kind of dismissed the question. So I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be in episode, I guess, 14, 15, when we focus on Tasha's and Tariq's perspective, because I can't recall what happened from Tasha's point of view that would have her call Paz, because it seems as though she was calling Paz to kind of get some dirt on Jamie. And I'm possibly thinking, I'm wondering if it's when Jamie called the Popo on Tasha in terms of but I think that happened already. I'm getting it confused. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I'm getting it confused because, you know, the perspectives, they're co-mingling. They're co-mingling a little bit, but they didn't explain why Tasha called Paz there. But Paz is pretty much like, girl, you are right. He does always win, okay? Like, she was like, I told you, girl. I told you. I've been laid up with this man for 11 years. I know he gets his way. And so, you know, Tasha, she gives Angie her props, right? She's like, you know what, your sister, she helped me and my family out. She died helping me and my family. I owe her, and I pretty much owe you by proxy. Okay, so if you need anything, holla at me. Okay, but just to let you know, Ghost, he's moving on. Okay, he found another boot thing, and Paz, she didn't need to hear that. Because she was like, hold up, I was just talking to Jamie. He was talking all this blase about Tosh, Angie, being the love of his life and, trading his life for hers. And he done moved on already. And she was like, yeah, girl, his little political boo. Yes, Ramona. Yeah, that's his new boo. Okay. And Paz is so disgusted. And Tasha was like, well, I already know that man. He lied. He lied to all three of us. Okay. I am not surprised. Right. So, child, I'm going to get into Ramona in a minute. Support Gaming, you said it's funny how everyone got an episode in everyone's perspective except for Saxe. And he was listed as a suspect. Oh gosh, Ghost Trail. That is facts. I feel like they had to kind of do some process of eliminations, if you will. Like, he was commingled in everybody else's perspective. So I think that kind of satisfied his perspective on some level. Because I don't know if we could have filled 52 minutes of what Saxe had going on. You know what I'm saying? He just had people popping up his house, a few different times. Like, that kind of get boring. He wasn't doing nothing but watching lesbian porn and, probably eating grilled cheese. Like, he wasn't doing much. He wasn't doing much. So maybe that didn't work out. Okay. SJ Smith, what's up? You said Tasha is the only one to interact with all the suspects. Did she interact with Saxe? I'm trying to remember. Did she interact with, not saying you're wrong, SJ Smith. I'm just thinking like, oh, you're probably right. But I don't recall her interacting with Saxe. I could be wrong. I could be missing a scene or two. You're right. Because Saxe and Taiti Blanca, they went to Tasha's house. But was that before these episodes? Because I think went there a couple times. The first time they went there, it was the Keisha episode. So I don't know. You're probably right. So Paz is pissed off now because she's like, oh, Jamie, he over there lying to me still? Okay, I got something for him. I'm going to go to his bestie's house. So she goes to Tommy. And Tommy opened the door like, girl, what the hell you doing here? That was so random, low-key at the time. So she was like, remember you said at the funeral that if I needed anything, you would help me? I'm cashing in this favor. I know you and James are besties. He was like, well, actually, I ain't really effing with James with that. She was like, oh, even better. I need you to murk him. He was like, what? And the whole time he kind of looking around like, we'll see like why in the future episodes, but he's kind of looking around like, girl, like you can't be coming up in my apartment like this. What we got going on? So she was like, well, I need you to murk the man that murked my sister. He was like, I can't do that. Sorry. Tommy's acting in this scene was hilarious to me because he was like, that's kind of impossible. I mean, it's not impossible, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, girl, you barking up the wrong tree because I can't really help you, low-key. So Paz is on full crash out mode at this point. Okay, she is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at this point. So your boy Tommy, he kicks her out. Okay, and so she is frustrated, and she had nothing else to do but to go home, go back to the house. Okay, and she was drained. You ever had them draining ass days where you literally walk into your spot and you just kind of like a zombie, and you do nothing but just plop on the bed or plop on the couch? Like, I don't really do my bed because I don't like outside clothes on my bed like that. But I'll be like so tired when I like go in the office. I come on that couch and I'll be stuck for like 3 hours because I'm tired. I had a draining day. That's the type of day Paz has. She's been ripping and running all day in Manhattan. Okay, she is tired. Okay, So she puts her blicky on a dresser, takes a nap, wakes up because the nap looked like it was good as hell. You never had that good ass nap. Like it looked very much good and refreshing, right? She wakes up, the blicky gone. She was like, hold up now. Where my blicky? She calls Junior. Junior not at the house. Okay. She calls, his cell phone. He ain't answer. She's like, oh, so she gets up. She goes. And of course, coincidentally, she catches Junior right when he's across the street from Truth, right? So she was like, Junior, get your behind. Stop playing over here. Like, what we doing? He was like, I'm tired. I need you back. I want my mom back. You're obsessive over this. Like, I'm tired. Like, he ruined our lives. We got to get our get back. She was like, son, this is for me to handle. So give me the blicky, and I'm going to take care of business, okay? She takes the blicky. He goes home. She cocks that blicky and proceeds to go into Truth. Now, Truth is popping right now because we're in the midst of James's party. So all types of political people and whatnot is there, right? So she goes into the bathroom. She runs into good old thirsty bucket Ramona. And other people was like, Ramona is a great, prospect, a good little matchup for James. In theory, if James wasn't partially ghost, but Ramona, you just too thirsty for your own good. Like, I'm so over her. Like, you just got out of a divorce with an adulterous, lying mofo. And you trying to get back into the game with another adulterous, lying mofo. But he just not adulterous and lying. He's drug dealer and murdering. Okay? Like she had rose-colored glasses like no other. Because she was in a trance and you didn't even get the goods yet. You didn't even sample Ghost yet. Okay, you had probably a little, they haven't even kissed yet to my knowledge. They kissed like at this party, but I don't know if it happened yet based on positive perspective. But point is, you too thirsty for no reason. Well, what are we doing? So Ramona recognizes Paz because earlier that day she was eavesdropping on James and Paz's conversation at the bar, right? So she knows that, that's Angie's sister. She was like, well, I just want to say sorry for your loss. Okay. But I just want to let you know, I want to thank you because the way James handled the conversation with you made me realize how good of a man he really is. And Paz was looking like, you been drinking? Like, what? Pops was like, girl, what? You have no clue and no idea who this man really is. Like, girl. Pops is like, she's done. She is done, so right? So she asked Ramona, like, girl, like, what do you see in him? I never understood what my sister saw in him. I never really got a chance to really go deep into this conversation with my sister. But what do you see in Jamie? Like, what is it, girl? And I'm like, Paz, what is your type? What is your type? Don't act like James is over here in bum territory now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Yes, the bird energy is coming out of me. I ain't gonna hold y'all. But I'm just saying, Paz, stop playing. Stop playing, okay? Because you was over there swooning. Who was she swooning over? Sorry, I don't mean to put his nationality, but the Asian guy. Why I can't think of DeMarcus? Help me out. He was in the department with Angie and him. Why can I? He had a one scene in this episode. Why can I remember his name? But the Asian fella. Now he's a good looking man. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't mad. But you was over here swooning over him. So. Paz, shut up, okay? But she proceeds to tell Ramona, like, Angie is dead because of him. So you need to help stop him. And Ramona, with this trans-like eyes and stature, some people you just can't really stop. I'm like, this chick is possessed. She is possessed. Like, Ramona, snap out of it. Blink if you need to be rescued, because girl. Yes, thank you, Mr. Jones. John Mock. Oh, thank you so much. That would have bothered me. I would have definitely logged off of here and went to the Googles. Okay. Because I could not think of his name at this point. Pause like Detective Carter type. Yeah, she did fall into Detective Carter's eyes. I mean, arms a little too easy. Don't tell me that was just grief, girl. SJ Smith, you said, I feel like if influence would have happened, it would have been revealed that Ramona had a darker side to her based on the scene with Paz. Possibly. Support gaming. You said Ramona only liked the influence of Ghost. She don't actually love him. She moved on pretty quick when he died. Yeah, I don't know if she loved Ghost. One, she probably was still vulnerable, but she also was getting hit on by Rashad Tate. And she was like, Rashad Tate, nah, we good. I'm good on you. So she wasn't that desperate. But I don't know, just people like Ghost, they just have that, that jus, that je ne sais quoi. They, if they, they just got a little something. You just can't help it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Okay, I get it. Okay. So let's go back into Stephen Ott, right? Stephen Ott, he goes to Warner, right? And he's like, Warner, sir, you dug up Angie's body. And you're still over here trying to pursue James St. Patrick. James is now a part of the Democratic Party, and what you're not going to do is mess with the Democratic Party. So I'm going to need you to chill out on that, okay? And at this point, Warner's ego is getting the best of him because right before Stephen Ott entered his office, Warner just kicked Tight Teeth Blanca out because she told him that Dre is willing to testify that, he was present or witness to James murking Silver. And of course, Warner knew that was BS, okay? And he was not trying to fall for it. But the mere fact that he was over there having the demeasuring contest with Stephen Ott, he was like, oh, okay, I got something for that. You want to threaten me? Because Stephen Ott was not playing. He was like, oh, I know you got, political aspirations. You want to think about that, sir? But Warner, he didn't care. So what did he do? He went to the judge and he told the judge about Dre. And the judge is very much happy. And he pretty much put a green light on a situation back on James St. Patrick. And I always think, because we saw in the episode 610 that Paz was en route to, why was she even going alone though? Just thinking about that, because she was delivering an arrest warrant, from my understanding, to James that night. Like, why did she show up by herself? First of all, you're a woman. Second of all, not saying like anything against women, but it's kind of proven for the most part. Men are stronger. And that just didn't make much sense logistically, that you would not have any backup going to Truth at possibly like 11 p.m. at night by yourself, delivering an arrest warrant. Like, that didn't pan out, but I guess the writers was like, F all that. We gonna make this work, okay? They gonna make it work. So, y'all, Ramona is a bird, okay? Please do not forget that. So Paz, she goes back to the party and she's trying to find James, okay? But he's finally over there, visible to her eyes, because he's over there, making nice with the people, I'm saying, kissing babies and shaking hands. I mean, ain't no babies there, but y'all get the gist, okay? He's over there, moving and grooving with the peoples, all right? This is pretty much his celebration, because this is the night before he goes on the campaign trail, right? So she kind of gets a good little sighting of him in a decent shot. Like, I don't think the shot she had was the greatest. It probably would have definitely been some people that would have been some casualties, because Paz, you ain't never had no blicky before. But girl, what we doing here? Okay. And I think she thought to herself, this ain't right. So we see as she try to get the blicky, she gets all these flashbacks about Angie and her birdness to James and how much she was so in love, and how Angie mentioned that she would never find anybody like James that's going to understand her. And we also hear dialogue of Paz being told, like, sometimes you do crazy things for the people you love. And I think at this moment, this resonates with her because she's literally doing or about to do a crazy thing for somebody she loves. So she's kind of put it in perspective. And I think at this point, she's holding Angie accountable for her actions, right? So she puts the blicky back in the purse. She leaves, right? But right before, like, she's out, James kind of looks in her direction and he sees, like, I know that bubble coat. I know that walk. And it's interesting because, you know, you could tell James ain't no dummy and he's good at multitasking, but at the same time, at this point, he's very much cocky. Okay. So I'm not sure, you know, I think they put that in there to kind of show that he's noticing things or things are kind of piecing together. But I think at this point, he's too far gone, you know, to think anybody is going to be able to get him. Paz was over there in the whole wire, and he was over there damn near spilling his guts. Okay. Jesus. So Paz goes back to the hospital to check on Poppy. And now Poppy knows that Angie is no longer with us. And he finally calls Paz Paz. He's not calling Paz Angie anymore. Thanks to Junior. I was pissed off at first with Junior, but I'm like, okay, actually, I'm kind of happy that this happened because now the Poppy is seeing Paz for Paz at this point, and he's explaining how she got her name and that, you know, she always had it hard. Angie always had it easy and Paz always had it hard. And he explains, you know, Paz is, you know, symbolic for peace. So at this point, Paz, I could tell she's feeling acknowledged. She is definitely right now feeling seen. And I think she's able to make peace with the things that are going on at this point, right? So, you know, this goes to show, you know, Paz was just in that big sister, big sibling, oldest sibling, traumatic stance because, you know, she always, you know, wanted to protect people. And sometimes when you do that, you kind of enable people on some level. And it was to her own detriment. So now that Poppy knows the truth, they can now move on and move forward, right? Because how long, and this reminds me of a situation in my own family, more so on my stepfather's side, where a family member died and they did not tell the elder family member because, you know, the elder family member would have been heartbroken. So the elder family member ended up dying like years later, like decades later, not knowing that that younger family member died. I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I feel like that's hella weird because how are you to rob that person of making peace and saying goodbyes? And like, what was y'all saying? Like, I don't know the ins and outs on how they was kind of covering this up, but like to not, and the person that, you know, the young person that died first, you know, that person was very busy in a whole nother state, well, a whole nother city. So that person wasn't around that often. But I don't know. I feel like that's borderline toxic. Like, don't rob me of the truth just to quote unquote protect my feelings. Because sometimes people may say it's protecting their feelings, but they actually try to make things easier for themselves. So they don't have to deal with the repercussions of that person, or not really the repercussions, because I don't want to make it seem negative, but they just don't want to deal with the, I guess, the fallout of that person learning the truth, you know? Yes, that is definitely being selfish, and that kind of annoyed me. I was kind of I wasn't a kid, I was like a teenager when this was going down, but yeah, that was just so just odd to me because I will always, when I saw that older family member, you know, another family member would kind of coach me, or not coach me, but just, you know how you had that meeting or if you had that meeting with your mom before you go into a store. So every time I went into that family member's house, they were like, remember, such and such doesn't know such and such died, so don't say anything. And I'm like, why we gotta go through all this? Why? That was just so weird. S.J. Smith, he said all of the suspects had a heart-to-heart moment with the family member, except for Saxe, and they kind of made up for it when they gave a family in book 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Paz means peace and tranquility in Spanish. Paz is none of that. Derry, don't. Why you gotta bust her bubble like that? Why you gotta do that, girl? But I appreciate the education. You are hilarious. Support Gaming, you said giving Stacks a family was pointless as they never become important or show up later. And yeah, because Riley pissed me clean off in book 2. I couldn't stand that girl. Oh, God. Oh, God. Let's move on. So now pause that piece, right? So her and Junior, they fell asleep on the couch. She wakes up the next morning and, she's kind of flipping through the channels and she sees and learns that James St. Patrick is no longer with us, right? So she wakes up Junior and Junior was like, Ma, you ain't tell me you went ahead was going to do it. You lied to me. She was like, sir, it wasn't me. Like Shaggy, it was not me. Like, calm down. Calm down, right? So, child, that was a lot. So we see Ott, he goes back to Warner, Stephen Ott. So he was like, yeah, you didn't listen to me. You still went ahead and pursued this situation with Ghost. So you're out of here. You're done. And Warner was like, you do not have the authority to fire me. I was like, the call is coming. And right before he exited, ring a ding ding. Ring a ding ding. Okay, Warner, you're out of here. You're out of here. You in the club with Tamika and them. Like, get out of here. Like, Eastern District trash. Okay. So much turnover. Very much toxic work environment. Okay. So Paz, she goes to the Fed office, right? And this is kind of when this episode kind of connects to the previous episode because we get a glimpse of Blanca's scene with Spanky and Spanky pretty much being told he's a free man and Blanca telling him that transportation is on the way. Now, if you was here last week, I had a whole rant about the Spanky situation, and I guess we're going to have to wait another episode or two to get into that because I am confused. I'm still confused as to why Spanky was supposed to be in Witsec, but still was roaming the streets in New York, drinking a Yoo-hoo, and found himself on the wrong side of a blicky. Not going to get into a rant tonight, but just know it's coming again, okay? Again. So Paz is talking to, she's actually asking for Warner, but Paz overhears and she was like, girl, I'm coming to the office, okay? Because some ish done went down, okay? And so Paz is asking, well, who did it? Who did it? Who murked James? And Paz, she's really trying to understand what happened. And even though I feel like she low-key happy. And Blanca's pretty much explaining, well, there's a lot of people that was around Ghost, including his wife. Okay. So, and I'm like, you ain't had to put that in there. You ain't had to put that in there, girl. Okay. So, and that's how they get caught up every time. Eastern District, y'all be divulging too much information. We ain't need to know about Tasha being up in there or being there. Like, she's his wife. Whatever. So, Blanca proceeds to say, like, hey, I don't know if we can do anything about Angie's benefits. Pops is like, it's okay. I'm cool. I'm not here about the money. I just want to know more about James. Okay. So she was like, I'm just here because I want to make peace and I want to put my sister back in the ground. So Stacks accompanies Paz to the cemetery as they lay Angie back to rest. Okay. So Paz, leaving the cemetery, she gets a call from Jamie's estate planner, Mr. Warner, Daniel Warner, right? So, child, she goes to Warner's office and we see Kate. Kate is happy as hell, okay? She gloating about her other son, Jamie, okay? And she's talking cash-ish about Tommy, right? And don't get me wrong, y'all. Y'all know I love me some Kate. I don't know, maybe it's the toxic trait in me, but I love me some Kate Egan, right? So Paz goes into the meeting and she finds out that James left her money, right? And Daniel made it very much clear. No, he didn't leave Angie money. Soon after Angie kicked the bucket, he went and altered and updated his will to include Paz. So we see Paz in the hallway, you know, with a little annoyed strut. So Tasha, okay, she looking like old Tasha, okay, looking like new money Tasha, okay. She stops Paz and she was like, "Yo, like, what are you doing? You don't want, he left you money? Like, are you serious?" Well, she actually was thinking he left Angie money, but Paz clarified, "No, he left me money." And of course, Tasha was like, "Ugh." Now in my head, I'm like, okay, is this before or after Tasha is notified she's getting nothing? But I think this is before, because it's weird because it looks like she is coming out from like a little back meeting already, or maybe she's just waiting for the meeting to be told last. I don't necessarily know and can't recall, but Paz is refusing to take the money. And Tasha was like, "You gotta take it. You gotta take it. Like, you need the money, girl. Stop playing." She was like, "No, he's responsible." She was like, "He is not responsible." And in my head, at this point, right, because we still have a few more episodes to go from other perspectives, I'm like, why is Tasha being so thirsty about Paz taking the money? I'm like, okay, is it because, you know, I don't think it's because Tasha feels guilty, because at this point, I think Tasha's pretty much looking about thinking about herself and her kids. But I'm like, okay, is she thinking if Paz does not take the money, on some level, it looks like James is guilty of something, or she and James are not on the same page? Like, would it look better in ops, you know, in optics? Would it look better for Paz to take the bread? Because it looks like, okay, everything is kumbaya with the whole Angie situation, right? Because if she don't take it, maybe it looks like James is responsible, or she's upset with James for some reason. So I think that's the reason that Tasha was asking Paz to take the money. But if y'all can think of anything else, let me know, right? So Tasha further tells Paz that no, Jamie is not responsible for Angie, but Tommy is. So Paz was like, "What? That don't make no sense. What he got to do with it?" She was like, "Well, James and Tommy was beefing a little bit. And if Angie got in betwixt all that, I can possibly see Tommy marking Angie to hurt Ghost." So Paz at this point is mind bleep. She's like, "What the hell?" So you could tell the emotions is bursting out of her. Like, she's leaving the office very much disheveled, right? And she made a point to make sure that Junior did not accompany her to this meeting, inside the meeting, you know, because I'm pretty sure if Junior was in that room and Paz was, you know, declining it, Junior would have been up to this set, okay, and would have altered her decision, because all he wants to do is go back to school, because I feel like there's a chick there that he's trying to holler at. So Paz goes back to the, you know, reception area. And of course, the first thing Junior is asking about is the money, you know, for school. So he was like, "Am I going back to school?" She was like, "Yes, you're going back to school." So that signifies that she decided to take the money. So she goes straight to Tommy's loft. How do I know she knows where Tommy lives? That's neither here nor there, I guess. Okay, I guess we got a whole yellow book that shows everybody's addresses and phone numbers, okay? So she's like, Tommy knocking on the door, right? And of course, no response. So she kind of, you know, toys with the doorknob, and it's open. So she opens it, and Tommy's loft is as empty as can be, okay? It was given, you know, like the last episodes of like the sitcoms back in the 90s, like Fresh Prince specifically, you know how the last episode, they kind of look back on the empty space. Like, that's how empty Tommy's loft was, okay? It was clean as a whistle, okay? And so she's like, Tommy, like, is she on full crazy crash out mode at this point? She's like, Tommy. And she's over here in heels and, you know, funeral attire, because she was at the cemetery placing her sister back in the ground. So the episode ends with her in the middle of Tommy's law. Tommy! I can't even do y'all because it was so funny. She was screaming Tommy's name and it was so hilarious. Like all of her might, all of the muster, all the frustration was coming out. Like she was like stomping her feet, like having like a 2-year-old tantrum because she was looking for Tommy's ass with Blicky in hand. Blicky in hand. Okay. The only scream cry that probably was funnier to me is Arsenio Hall. I can't remember his character's name. But Arsenio Hall and Harlem Nights. When he was over there crying and trying to get Quick because Quick shot his brother. That's the only funniest like crash out that I can think of right now that topped this scene. I was bawling out laughing. Tommy is long gone, baby girl. But we gonna get Tommy's perspective. But this was hilarious. But girl, I'm so mad because her quest for revenge, it ended up working itself out because Ghost left her some bread. But you still could have had a little extra change if you weren't so go about getting your revenge on Ghost, who's not even guilty of Angie's murder. Yes, I know by proxy he is. But girl, you done messed up her honor. You done messed up, just the whole reputation, the legacy, because you was over here trying to pursue James St. Patrick. The end. Oh, yes, there major crash out. Okay. Support gaming. You said Junior going to school was for nothing. Imagine going through school those years of education, just becoming fat and get shot and unalive. And he was like a rookie, right? He couldn't have been no more 2 years in the game. And you ended up getting off by your aunt's lover's son. It's giving telenovela. Sure is. Dear, you said Tasha was wrong for that. Yeah. That was a lot. You guys. But yes. That was the episode. I appreciate y'all rocking with me through this pause episode. People always complain about pause episode, but we got through it, you guys. We did it. Okay. So we still got to go through, Tommy. We got a little bit of Tate, and then we got Tariq, and then we got Tasha. Okay, I mean, theirs kind of combined or what have you, but 3 more episodes, you guys, and it's gonna be a wrap for that. Okay, now tomorrow I will be reviewing Training Day. Okay, and I'm gonna so enjoy this review, y'all. It's so much. I'm gonna pray that it's not a 4-hour review because I could legit talk about Training Day for hours. I mean, I can't. I'm excited. So I hope y'all can come through tomorrow. I think I have it scheduled for 8:15. So please come through if y'all interested in watching and going through the Training Day of it all. Okay, because I am excited to talk about that movie. And then on Friday, I'm having a panel. We're going to have a little Thanksgiving live or whatever you. Okay, and on Saturday, me and my nephew will be going live to do like a little cookie crumble review. Okay, so I'm trying to look out for y'all with the content. So just show y'all appreciation. Just try to show up. Okay, whether it's live through the replay, if y'all want to come through just with a little likey like, okay, just support your girl. Okay, I would appreciate it. Yes, Derry, please watch it tonight. Because honestly, before this week, I haven't watched Training Day in years. I can't even remember exactly how old I was when I first watched it, but I have such a different perspective now. Well, I don't want to say different perspective, but I noticed so many more things now that I'm older and, just watching it under, a different lens. So please come through, boo. Okay. But y'all, thank y'all for pulling up with this review. Please like the video, subscribe, do all the things. Of course, next week we'll be back for episode 613. And that's it, y'all. See y'all tomorrow night. Toodles.